people can go to my website and buy it for full price anyway. So I feel like these sales create that urgency, and that discount, basically it's trading off for like a booth fee at an art fair.
You're listening to Thrive by Design, business, marketing, and lifestyle strategies for your jewelry brand to flourish and thrive. Let's get started.
Welcome to the Thrive by Design podcast, episode number 98. It's Tracy Matthews here. And from time to time, I get super excited about inviting some of the Flourish and Thrive members to join us here on the podcast. So today I have one of our mastermind students and a member of our Diamond Insiders, Sarah D'Angelo, on the show today. And Sarah is killing it selling on Facebook. And she hosts these really successful Facebook sales. It's a really great opportunity for her to get rid of extra inventory and sort of unload and move stuff that is just sitting around in her off months. So she's going to share with us some of her favorite strategies, which I loved. I actually learned a lot of new things today. It's hard for me to learn something new. I feel like I hear just about everything, but this was really great because it was a different approach to running a Facebook sale, which I hadn't heard before. I'm excited to invite Sarah on in just a moment, but there's some really great insights and key takeaways that you're definitely going to want to grab a note, paper, and some pens, or a pen, so that you can take some notes, I should say, because it's really good. It's really replicable strategies that you can use in your business and some great tactics to help create urgency and get people to buy it right away. So if you want to learn more about Sarah, make sure you go check out her website over at sarahdiangelo.com. We'll also have it over in the show notes at flourishthriveacademy.com/episode 98. I know you're going to really enjoy today's episode. A lot of you are asking how you can sell better on Facebook, so you're going to learn a lot today. So I'm excited to share this with you. But before we do, I would love to take a word from our sponsor. The sponsor for today's podcast is Halstead Bead. Halstead is a really amazing wholesale jewelry supplier that features different products ranging from materials, supplies, beads, raw materials, chain, you name it, they got it. It's a really great supplier, especially for you who are running a niche business. One of the things that I really love about Halstead, and I talk about this all the time, is they're a family-owned business. We've developed a really great partnership with Halstead, and we've negotiated a really wonderful discount for you, which I'm going to share with you in a moment. But the thing that I love the most about Halstead is that they are really committed to supporting the jewelry community and especially emerging designers. So they have a grant, which we mentioned over on episode number 93, that they run every single year. And this grant is really designed to support emerging artists who are 7 years and under in business. So if you are interested in growing your business and getting some grant money in order to help you build your collection or increase your marketing efforts or get some more PR, then definitely go and check out this opportunity. You can head on over to flourishthriveacademy.com/Halstead grant. That's flourishthriveacademy.com/Halstead grant. You can download the application right there, fill it out. Do not wait until the last minute. The deadline is August 1st. We're already in the middle of June. This is going to take you some time because it's a little bit kind of like filling out an application/business plan. And we really want you to think about it before you apply and be thoughtful about your answers, because this is going to really make a difference in their decision in picking you. And the cool thing is that one of our mastermind designers from this year and one of our mastermind designers from last year were both runners up. And we've had several members of the Flourish and Thrive community who have been selected by Halstead as runners up. So we're really excited. You have a really good shot at winning, and it's a great opportunity for you to get some investment in your business. And then also, for those of you who are not interested, or you're past 7 years in business or whatever, we'd love to offer you a really special offer that Halstead is bringing to the Flourish and Thrive community. So you can head on over to halsteadbead.com, go around, shop all you like, find some goodies, put them in your basket. And for orders over $100, they're offering $10 off, I should say. Orders over $100, $10 off. And you can grab that discount using the code FTA2017. That's all caps, FTA 2017. So head on over to our show notes over at episode 98. We'll have all the details there if you were driving or something and didn't have a chance to write this down. But make sure that you grab that really special offer from Halstead. All right, without further ado, you can use your Halstead materials to set up for your Facebook sale. let's dive into this wonderful interview with Sarah D'Angelo. This is something that we do often in our Diamond Insiders community. We call it a member super share. It's sort of derived from my mastermind that I'm in with Ryan Levesque. And the idea is that everyone shares all these great ideas of things that worked in their business. And when we all combine these ideas, we can come up with $1 million worth of revenue ideas in the mastermind. So we call this the $1,000 Power Hour. We want to find out from you what it is that you've done to generate $1,000 or more in your business or save $1,000 in your business. And when everyone comes together with all of the comments and all of the support, we come up with a bunch of ideas. So this is just something that we do in our Diamond Insiders every month. Sarah was the winner this month, and it's been really fun to learn her process. So let's dive right in. Hey everyone, it's Tracy and Sarah D'Angelo. I wanted to welcome Sarah D'Angelo here. Sarah is a Flourish and Thrive member. She's part of our mastermind. We have these super share contests, and we love having our students on the show doing super shares and also, supporting you guys, because I feel like sometimes the best learning is really from people who have already walked through the fire and your peers. We can tell you from our experience, but everyone's got their own experience of their jewelry business. And obviously, we are in a certain case, an authority in the jewelry industry, but there's so many different ways to approach a business. So I was really excited. I think it was last month, we had a contest for a super share contest where one lucky Diamond Insider was going to get to share their journey on the super share and also be on our podcast. So I'm very excited to welcome Sarah D'Angelo today. So Sarah, welcome.
Hi, everybody.
Hi. Sarah, why don't you tell us a little bit more about you and your business?
Let's see. My name is Sarah. I've been doing my jewelry business for 18 years now. I make everything myself still. I joined the mastermind this year because I'm wanting to make a big transition to more wholesale. Right now, mostly what I do is art fairs and online and then local wholesale. But I've had a great run and I love making jewelry and I support my family doing this. This is our family business.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
It's amazing. So welcome to the show. What's your website so people can stalk you?
SarahD'Angelo.com.
SarahD'Angelo.com. Go check it out. Okay, so today's topic is really about having a flourishing and thriving, I'm just going to be cheesy, Facebook sale. So Sarah is, we haven't had an episode earlier in the year with Lauren about really creating how to use Facebook groups and how to use them really effectively for your business. I want to talk about having a Facebook sale because people are on Facebook all the time and they're using the platform. They're hanging out on the platform. For those of you in the Diamond Insiders, you're here kind of hanging out on Facebook in the group and stuff all the time. So the short of the long is that people are on Facebook. So why not use a platform where people are hanging out to have a sale? So why don't you tell us a little bit more about exactly what a Facebook sale is, and we can kind of move on from there if that sounds good.
So I came up with the concept with another jewelry maker friend of mine when we were in our slow time during shows, and we're like, how can we generate some sales? So we got this idea of hosting a sale because I used to do them in person, and I just moved 2 years ago from Wisconsin to Colorado. So I lost my base.
Yeah.
So I was trying to think of how I could create that same, I used to always do a January sale for all my customers, how I could create that same thing with people who are not, local to me anymore. So we kind of made it up and we both tried it and we tweaked a bunch of stuff, and I've done it 3 times now.
Amazing.
And each time has gotten more and more successful to the point where now it's as much as a live art fair.
Oh, so, that is awesome.
Yeah.
How cool is that to be able to do that and not have to actually be somewhere while it's happening? I love it.
Here in Colorado, there's no art fairs January through April because the weather.
Oh.
So it's a great way to keep my client base engaged and also to sell old stuff that I don't want to put on my website or don't want to put out at a show. So, yeah.
Right. So tell us about that first sale. What was it like? How did you get, what were your results? What were some of the things that you did to make it really awesome?
So first of all, I, promoted it. So I sent out, out to my email list on Facebook. Now I'm on Instagram. So now, promote it on Instagram, anywhere I can reach my clients. And what I did the first time is I set up on an event on my business page.
Okay.
So you can set up an event. And then in the event, there's a discussion panel, and that's where I do the sale.
So you actually do it on the event, not in a group.
On the event, right. Because then people have to kind of like log into it, and then I can invite people directly to the event.
Oh, that's so cool. That's such a unique way to do it. So how did you come up with that idea instead of starting a group or something else?
I think I just didn't know there were other options. I'd never made a Facebook group, so it was either going to be on my business page, and I was afraid of flooding people's feeds, so I didn't want to do that. So I did it right on the event, right in the discussion panel, and it works great because people just go to the event, and then there's the sale happening.
Okay, so when you're doing the sale and you're posting on the discussion of the event, do you have one that we can look at right now? I can share my screen.
I don't know. I'd have to check.
That's going on, but do you keep them active on your page? Like, is it?
They should be. I think if like old events are still there, it would still be active.
Okay, I'm going to try and look that up later when you're, or Jeff, if you can look on Sarah's business page, because Jessica's here helping us out with this, and see if there's an old event. If you could just give me a yes or a no, that would be awesome. I can screen share later and kind of show what it looks like. What's your business page name so people can look at it?
It's Sarah D'Angelo Jewelry.
Sarah D'Angelo Jewelry. Okay, awesome. So did you have like goals when you were starting it, or you just wanted to see what would happen?
I just wanted to see what would happen. My friend did it first, and she made about $500, which for her was a lot. And I thought, hey, if I can make $500 like sitting in my living room, that would be great. And I hit over 1,000 the first time. So,
oh, wow. Awesome.
But I also have a strong client base already. So that helps. You know, I have a mailing list of people that are already fans. So another plug for all of you out there to keep a mailing list, and because it's a great way to get sales.
So this is a little bit of a sidebar, but what have you done to sort of build your mailing list over the years?
So the biggest thing is at art fairs. Because that's in person. And so then and anybody who walks into my booth and shows even remote interest, I offer them my mailing list. And so now that I have my own website, which is just 5 months old, now I've got, the pop-up bar at the bottom to have people sign up.
Okay, cool. Oh, on your website. Okay, yes. Awesome.
So one of the things I realized from the first time that I fixed to the next sales was explaining exactly how it works, because so many people showed up and couldn't figure out how it worked. So one of the things you'll see on the latest event is there's a pinned post at the top of the discussion which explains all the rules, and that really helped. Okay, so talk about the rules that are the parameters, how it works. So I just say, like, I'm going to be listing items every few minutes, and the first person to claim it, either by saying me or mine or I want it, gets it. And then after the sale is over, I send out PayPal invoices to be paid. So in the rules, it explains, like, this is what's going to happen. Okay, so I'm going to pull this up. Look at that. Yeah. Just the magic of the internet. And right? IAM device called Slack, where it's my company, is I can have my team finding things for us while we're looking at it. So here's the rules. Sarah D'Angelo Jewelry, welcome. Each item listed, type me or mine, and you're committing to the purchase. Everything's one of a kind. So first person to get it claims it. You'll send invoices via PayPal. And if you want to prefer to pay you directly, let you know. Clearance items, then new pieces. New items are not on the website. You get an exclusive chance to snatch them for 15% off. Very cool. Listings up for 24 hour. So if you're reading this after the sale, plenty of time to find a treasure or two. Okay, shipping's $350. Great. So you have like all the details. Yeah, and one way I think that you can maybe even make this clearer, I mean, it's hard to do on Facebook because they don't really have the option to create bullets, but if there's a way you can use like a dash or something, you can see like that clearly, like, not that this is like a feedback thing, but I just noticed that, like, no, totally. I'm open. could see it more clearly for people who are going to do this for the first time. So then here's the listing, and then below there's comments like me. Okay, so this is so cool. I love it. One of the things you'll notice I want to point out as you're looking, one of the things I figured out that really helped with keeping things current so people knew what was available and not is as soon as it sold, I changed the description at the top and I wrote sold at the top. Oh, wow. And that really helped. The first time I did it, people were like, well, what's still available? So this really helped. As soon as somebody claimed it, I went in and changed the description to sold. That way people could scroll through and find the ones that were still available. Well, you know, the awesome thing is that you did $1,000 in sales by sitting on your couch and your price was like $28 a piece. Yeah, I know. So you sold a lot of volume with this. This is great. So you build your list at your live events. You ask people if they want to be on it. And you build it online. You host these sales on Facebook. Okay, this is great. And I love the idea of actually doing this in a Facebook
on a Facebook event because it's everything that's just like super neat and tidy. Whereas like, depending on who your dream customer is, like some people might be a little bit more hesitant about joining a group just for a sale. You can also do Facebook trunk shows that way as well. Okay. So quick question for you. So you have, really good price point jewelry. Do you think this would work for any type of designer?
Absolutely. And I don't know if you noticed on there, but what I did was I had clearance items that I was trying to get rid of first. So that was the cheap stuff that I just wanted to get rid of. And then I showed my new stuff, which is a higher price point. And I had stuff on there for, my price point is fairly low anyway, but there's a few things that were up, in the $100 range. So yeah. And I think that your clients buy your stuff. So you're good with whatever your price point is.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So it would work for any kind of designer as long as you have like the right kind of list, basically, is, what you're saying. Yes. How many times a year do you do the Facebook shows, or how often?
So I've done it 3 times so far. I think my plan is probably to do it at least twice, maybe 3 times, depending on
a year.
Yeah. But I don't want to do it too much because then it loses its. So I feel like twice a year will probably be it, maybe 3 times a year, but that would probably be the most that I would do it. Just because if you do it too much, then nobody cares anymore.
Okay. So the next time you do it, what are some of the things that you will do differently or add on to the experience? Because you talked about marketing in advance. Well, Let's back up for a second. You talked a little bit about marketing in advance. Specifically, what are some of the things you do to actually market it?
So I send out my email to my email list, and I did it a month before and then a week before.
A month before and a week before. So it's like a save the date and then this is coming. Do you tease or feature any items that might be in the sale?
I think I did. I always put a picture of something new. So I'm pretty sure I had something like, hey, I'm doing a sale. And I did, because I remember because I had several people contact me for that piece ahead of time.
Okay, cool.
So, and then I said, you have to wait for the sale.
Wait for the sale. Get there early because there's only one. I love it. So you can create this really great sense of urgency and anticipation in advance to get people excited for it.
Yes. And then I put it, since it's an event, you can invite people from Facebook to your event. So I invited all the people that are on my Sarah D'Angelo jewelry page, that like it.
Yeah.
And I also invited, went through my friends list and invited everybody who I thought might want to come. So you can directly invite people to it, which is cool.
So how do you invite people from your page if you're not friends with them? I think
there's just a button.
Is there? Okay.
Like it says invite, and you can be like invite all.
Oh.
I think. I'd have to check.
Cool. Well, we'll get clear. Well, we're all going to check that out. I feel like for some reason, maybe you have to be logged in as your page. Maybe that's the disconnect.
Right.
You can do it as yourself.
Or maybe it was just like send it to everybody.
Okay.
Send the event. Maybe it wasn't a direct invite, but it was some way that I could advertise it to everyone who likes it.
Cool. So what do you do after the event is over to sort of is there any and I want to ask you about the payment piece too. So why don't we start first with the payment? So you send people a PayPal link to actually pay for the products.
A PayPal invoice.
Yes. Do you have anyone flaking and not paying you, or how do you handle that?
The very first time I did it, I had a couple of people do that because they didn't understand the rules. I don't know how they didn't understand them, but once I sent them the bill, they were like, oh, I didn't mean to purchase all 3 of those. Or they just were a little confused. But I feel like the second and third time I did it, because I laid it out clearly, I didn't have any issues.
Okay, cool. Amazing. Mm-hmm. So not even one person saying I don't want it.
No, because I think I made it clear, okay, now it's yours. You bought it.
Yours, you got it. So I'll send you a link later. Okay, cool. Right. Yeah, I guess that would be sort of the I don't want to say the risk, but the hesitation for people if for me, to let someone commit to it. But maybe what you could also do, I feel like if you have more than one item, you could talk about how many items are available. If it's not just one of a kind, and then everyone who wants it, you can maybe another way to add a layer just for people starting with this, or maybe if you did have multiple pieces, it's if you want to be first person to comment or first and additional people to comment, will be second runner up if for some reason.
Right.
Someone didn't. Or I guess you could say if someone liked it, you could reach out to them and be like, hey, do you, if someone outside of the box, how can you make effort? But so if you had, multiple units of the same thing, you could just say either how many units are available or this is what's available. Or,
and I did have a couple of those where I could make multiples. So I just put at the top 10 available, or anyone who wants one, just say me, that kind of thing.
Okay, cool. So anyone who wants one, just say me. Okay,
Right.
cool. Perfect. So you're offering a discount during these sales for the most part. Have you ever tried doing bundling or doing something else to create like excitement around it? Or
No, I haven't tried bundling. I did a couple of sets, and I constantly would have people say, well, can I just get the earrings? So I was like, never mind.
Forget the sets.
I do a couple of giveaways during the sale, though, because that draws people too. So, like, I'll have a little contest. Like, once I did like a multiple choice for, who can guess the name of my business when I first started. And then the first person who guessed correctly got a free pair of earrings.
What was the name of your business when you first started?
Oh, God, it's so embarrassing. It was called 3 Wishes.
Okay, that's cute. Whatever.
Yeah.
So, no.
Way back when. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but that helps draw people too, because then if people even aren't like really there, like I'm going to buy, they're there to see if they can win, and then they might end up buying too.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, totally. That's a great idea. So you mostly offer discount, which I think is fine. Like if it's a sale and you're only doing it for a limited amount of time.
Right.
And, this to me seems like it's in place of like an in-person sample sales. So I used to have sample sales twice a year.
Exactly.
In my business. And it was a great way. I usually ran them around like holidays. So it usually be one around Mother's Day and one around the holidays. It worked really well for generating business. So this is just another way to get rid of either extra inventory or stuff that is just sitting around that you have just a few pieces of or one of the kinds of.
Yes. That's what I'm using it for, because people can go to my website and buy it, for full price anyway. So I feel like these sales create that urgency and that discount. It's trading off for like a booth fee at an art fair. So I'm not really losing anything. It's the same to me.
Exactly. So I want to ask you, do you find one type of sale better than another type of sale? But it sounds like you're kind of just focused mostly on the discount part of it, and the sets don't work as well for you. Have you ever done something like, let's say someone bought an earring and you like linked like, oh, I have this necklace available too?
Yes. So usually I'm listing matching pieces as I'm going. So if somebody buys the earrings, I'll be like, hey, the necklace is coming up next, that kind of stuff. So,
okay, cool. Does that work?
Yeah, it works. Okay. But I find even in general, like people don't buy my stuff in sets. Maybe my clientele is just not the matchy type.
They were like eclectic. They like
yes. So it's not that unusual to me.
Okay, cool. So do you find that like doing this, like having this sort of like energy around the sale has really helped the success of it? Like having that fun factor of saying like, oh, whoever claims it first gets it, and stuff like that?
And I've had people email me after and be like, oh my gosh, that was so much fun, which really struck me as odd. Like, really? Like, I mean, that's my goal. But it still struck me as odd, like that they had a great time. Like, so I think that's a good thing.
Do you send out like an email announcement like right before, like let's say like you're like, it's starting now?
So I do it on Facebook. I try not to send out too many emails because I've noticed when I send too many emails, people start unsubscribing. Yeah. So I do the month before and like a week before, 5 days before. And then on Facebook, I send out like an hour till, we go, or in 15 minutes till we go, and that kind of stuff.
And that seems to work?
Yes.
I think what could also really help maybe down the road when you feel a little bit more comfortable with this, sending out an email like, 10 minutes before, just saying we're going live. Because I think that some people even, like, I know I'm not really on Facebook that much, with the exception of being in our groups for Flourish and Thrive. Like, I'm not looking at other stuff. So it could help down the road. Yeah. This is something else for people who are trying this out for the first time. So do you have any advice for someone who wants to try this do this for the very first time? Any extra advice that you haven't already mentioned?
Yes. So in prepping for it.
Okay, let's talk about it.
So total, I would say it takes about 3 days of work to do this show. Okay. Like, it's a lot more time consuming than I thought it would be. Still totally worth it. But so what I do is I lay out all the pieces that I'm going to do. I photograph them all, and I just do one shot of each piece. And then I, have to edit all the photos and get them ready to put on. And then I have them in a folder all ready to go. So it's like I'm just literally moving them over. And then I'm just typing a quick, super short description. Like, because otherwise you'll spend all your time trying to type. So you just want to make it as fast and as short as you can, because it's amazing. Like, I try to post a new item every 3 minutes, and it still will take me, 2 to 3 hours to get through the sale.
Do you ever type up the descriptions in advance?
I tried that, but I felt like it was just as much work to find the matching descriptions to the photos.
You can number it, I guess. Yeah, I could see how that would be.
I know if you do the sale in a group or on your page directly, you can pre-schedule the posts.
Yeah.
which is a great also way to do it, which I think I'll try next time. But I'm a pretty fast typer, so at least if they're short, I can get those out pretty quick. But I would say lay everything out, get it all ready so everything's really easy, because it gets really confusing when people are starting to claim stuff and someone's asking you a question. Yeah.
You need support. You need an assistant on there.
Right.
We were doing Facebook Lives by ourselves for a long time, and then we realized we were missing things. And so we started bringing someone else on with us to help us with the commenting piece and drop the links. So, if it starts getting super busy, you could always bring someone else on to do that as well. Do you have any sales coming up?
You mean Facebook sales?
Yeah.
No.
You're no.
No, I probably not until I might do one in August would probably be the next time I do. Because I just did this one 2 months ago. So yeah,
okay,
I'll probably wait.
Awesome.
And this is my busy season. I have art fairs every weekend. So yeah.
Okay, cool. So we have some questions. Are you up for answering?
Yeah.
Jess is saying, holy smokes, that's crazy good. You don't even have to lug your jewelry around. Your site's so nice, Sarah, and I love your jewelry. Let's see.
Thank you.
Sarah, you're too cute, Robin says. Getting some love from our masterminds. Kristen's hey, love this idea. Thanks for sharing. Such great tips from Jackie. Okay, my husband advised me to do it this year, and I had no idea how to pull this off. So I thought he was crazy. Sorry I didn't listen, but I'm glad for the encouragement. So this is from Monique. So great, Monique. I'd be really curious. You're going to try something now? Because it would be awesome if you did. Thank you. Do you feel it's a good plan to list all your clearance items first and then later list new items?
Yes. So this is also something I discovered after doing a couple. If I do the clearance ones first, people snatch them up, but then they don't feel like they've spent too much, so they'll still splurge on the regular price item.
Oh, okay. Awesome. That's a great strategy.
Right. So I tried it all three ways. The first sale I did that, I intermixed them, sale item, regular, sale.
Yeah.
And it just, people were like, what? Is this for sale? I don't know. And then the second time I reversed it. I did all the new stuff first and the sale at the end. Well, by the time we got to the end, people were like, I've spent too much. So I liked doing the sale first because, like I said, people just snatched it up. And then I did the new stuff and then they're like, oh, that's so cool. And then they buy that too.
You're getting a ton of hearts and likes right now. People are super excited about it. Okay, so Janet asks, hi, Sarah. Can I ask what day and time you found works best? Weekend, weekday mornings, evenings, etc. Thanks.
So I actually sent out on a Facebook post and asked my customers when would be the best time for them. And I got the either Wednesday or Thursday night, after dinner.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Evening.
That was the answer I got. I'm not sure, everybody's people are different, but my people are a lot of, they've got kids. And so that after dinner time seemed to work really well.
Okay, awesome. Anita says, how do you pre-schedule posts for a group?
I haven't done it, so I don't know. I've heard you can do it, and I'm going to try it the next time, but I haven't done it yet.
This is not 100% sure, but you have to you can pre-schedule a post on your business page, and you do that there's something on the back end. You could just Google how to pre-schedule a post on a Facebook business page and find out how to do it pretty simply. In a group, I don't think that they have that functionality yet.
Okay.
But what you can do, there's an app called Meet Edgar, which is a social media scheduling app, which you can, and it will schedule straight into your group. You can connect your groups. So we use that for Flourish and Thrive, which has been great because we think about the content that we want to create, but it's not efficient for anyone for us to be writing it always in real time, unless it really is a real time thought or comment that's coming up. Because there's different support things that we want to do. So you could do the same thing with your jewelry. Get an app like Meet Edgar and just schedule it straight from the app into the group in 3-minute increments.
Right.
The other thing that it might be limiting for, and I could be wrong here, so if anyone is scheduling in a group directly, please let us know and just post in the comments below. But you might only be able to schedule in 5-minute increments. It might not give you as much flexibility to do every 3 minutes.
One of the things, the advantages to doing it in the discussion section of an event, though, is that it's a separate entity. So if you do it on your page or whatever, and somebody comments on something else, that post is going to pop to the top, and it'll look like it's part of your sale. So it could get, that's why I like the discussion one, because everything stays in that order that I posted it.
And it also doesn't clutter up your Facebook page feed.
Right.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So Patty says, I found that giving the piece a number is easier when invoicing as opposed to looking at timestamps. Oh, that's an interesting little share. So Patty, are you doing something similar? Because that's really cool. I would love to hear how you're doing it. Monique says her wheels are turning. Thank you so much. Lisa says, hi, Sarah. Thanks for doing this live video with Tracy. This is great. For this to be successful, do you need to have a big list? How do you build your list? Thanks. So you kind of talked about that, but do you want to talk about it a little bit more?
Yeah. I mean, I would say it could be successful even with your friends and family to start, because all your people are on Facebook. So I would start with who you've got. And, you've got friends that live in other states and stuff that might not even think of going to your website to buy. So, I mean, a lot of even my sales go to my old high school friends that are on Facebook. So, yeah. So I would say give it a try with whoever you've got, and then just keep really be aggressive about building your email list.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Toby says, I tried a flash sale a few weeks ago and it was a dud, but now hearing this, I can see where it went wrong. Thank you so much, Sarah. I think that it's really important to make sure that you plan it out, that you're teasing it enough in advance, that you have a lot of strategy around that it's starting now, it's starting in 5 minutes, and then posting, giving them a very short period of time to buy. This is a lot of this, you've been doing a lot of the stuff that we teach here about creating that sense of urgency.
Yeah.
Get them to actually buy it now.
Yeah. Well, I think too, and giving the Facebook sale a reason for people to come. So, whether it's a clearance sale or whether it's a new collection or, the giveaways, I mean, that really draws people in. So yeah, give them reason to show up and then make it fun.
Absolutely. Okay, cool. Nicole says, this is such good information. I do trunk shows often on Facebook and it's really nice to hear some new ideas. Thank you so much. How long do you run a show for?
So my goal is always 2 hours and then it always goes over. I just,
by midnight, you're
So I kind of know now it's about 3 hours, and I have people even join in that last third hour. So yeah, that's about the time frame that I feel has worked. After 3 hours, people start to fizzle.
Wow. Birgit asks, how many people do you think need to take part in the sale to have enough momentum and sales energy? It would be bad if there was only the sound of crickets during the sale.
So, I mean, the first time I did it, I think I counted that 20 some people showed up.
Cool. And you did $1,000 off those 20 people?
Right. Well, because, you figure if they each spend, $100 or $50, Yeah. So, but then the last one that I did, I think I had at least 60 people at least check in.
Wow.
I didn't have 60 people buy, but I had 60 people appear in the
That
event.
is amazing. Okay. Nancy says, do you respond to buyers right away or after the sale?
Yes. So when they write the me underneath the picture, I'll write underneath it yours or thanks or you got it or something like that, because then they know I've acknowledged them. And then I change the thing to sold at the description to sold, which also.
Yeah, so that was a really good strategy that you talked about at the beginning of this call, was that when the first time you did it, you didn't write sold in the top.
Yep.
And it's confusing for people who were coming in late. They weren't sure what was still available. So that's a really great tactic.
Well, and also saying yours or you got it also helped, because I said, the first time people were I don't know what I got and I don't know if I won, or is it for free? Do I have to pay for it? They didn't know. Okay,
cool. So Sarah says, I schedule it with my groups, but it's with co-schedule, which I pay for. Okay, yeah, so that's similar to Meet Edgar, a similar app. Let's see. Nicole says, how long do you run the shows for? Do you ever give away contests during the shows? So she runs the show for a couple hours and then she does contests during the show, which helps get people there.
Yes.
Melissa says, yes, I never did the tease part correctly. That's a huge part. Thanks for bringing it up. Let's see. Do you tell people that you're listing your clearance items first? I mean, do you let them know ahead of time how it will go?
Yep. So I actually have it in my little rules in my pinned post. And then when I, do it, I'll do a post and I'll say, okay, first up, the clearance items, and kind of make it a big deal. And then I'll start listing, and it'll say clearance on each of the descriptions too.
Okay, cool.
Then when I'm done with the clearance, I'll say, okay, last clearance item. And then I'll list that. And then I'll say, now we're on to the new collection, not listed. You can't get it anywhere else, that kind of stuff. And then I'll start listing the new items.
Okay, awesome. That's so cool. Nicole asks, is there a way to check how many people check in during the event?
So on the event, when you make an event and in the discussion, it'll actually show how many people showed up.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Awesome.
Mm-hmm. And another way I figured out how many people were there is when I would do the giveaways, because everybody responds to the giveaway question. So if I said, pick a number between 1 and 100 and I got 30 some responses, I go, okay, there's 30 people here right now. So that's another way to kind of gauge how many people are active on there at the moment is because everyone's going to respond to the giveaway.
Okay, cool. So thank you so much for such great advice and insight. Do you have any final words, or is there anything else that you want to leave our peeps with today?
Well, we didn't talk about collecting the money, which is another.
Yeah, let's talk about the most important part, getting the money. Okay.
The money. So I use PayPal, and they have an option if you're a business, if you have a business, to send out invoices.
Yes.
And that has become so much easier than just like requesting money. Because you can say request money, or you can make an invoice, and the invoice is so helpful. So when I did that really because then you can list each item, the price, they can see it all. Like it just works really, really well.
You put a little picture in the invoice or no?
I think it is my logo, not the picture of the jewelry.
Okay.
But you can write the description.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you can send an invoice through PayPal. Most of the business type, PayPal has different kinds of business accounts, but I think most of them have that functionality where you can actually invoice people through PayPal. Yeah. And then they just pay right there with a credit card or their PayPal account. Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. Awesome. So, Sarah, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate your generosity in sharing your insider secrets, because I know this is like such great information. I know it's going to help a lot of designers have their own first Facebook sale and maybe multiple down the road.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
And I'd say try it. Like, don't be afraid, because the worst that can happen is you don't sell anything. No big deal. So
you're not any worse off, right?
Yeah.
So I think like the most important takeaways I got was like making sure that the rules are very clear, that you tease it enough in advance so that you can get people there, that you're using Facebook as a tool to invite people. Even if you have just friends and family on your email list, it's a great place to start. A lot of the people that I started my business with, like literally were just friends and family. And then it grew beyond there. And that's how you sort of build that network. Like your friends tell their friends, and there's help from their friends. And you can even create incentives for people who bring a friend or something like that.
Yes. Or you can, create a post and say, to send it to all your friends and say, please share this on your page, because then all their friends will see it.
Exactly. So there's a lot of ways to get like more people involved who maybe aren't on your list. And I love the viral aspect of Facebook and the sharing aspect of Facebook. And this is just so great. So thank you so much, Sarah, for sharing this today. This is awesome.
Yay. Go sell.
Go sell. Okay. Bye, guys. All right. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I hope that you got a ton of value and you're ready to set up your next Facebook sale. Wasn't that awesome? And I hope some of the questions from our Diamond Insiders community were thoughtful and insightful too, to help you think outside of the box of how you can run a successful Facebook sale. So keep your eyes and ears open, because episode 100 is coming up and the stars aligned. You're not going to believe this. Episode 100 lands on Flourish and Thrive's 5th birthday, or the day before. So it's the birthday week of Flourish and Thrive's 5th birthday. Yo, 5 and 5. So we're listening to that episode because it's a really amazing episode, and we're going to be giving away a really special sales tool. So we want you to get excited about it. So make sure that you mark on your calendar July 4th or July 5th, either day. July 4th is the holiday here in the United States, but make sure that you listen to that episode, because we're going to be giving you a freebie, a really epic freebie all about sales, which is something that we talk about all the time here. Something that I know a lot of you struggle with. So thanks so much again for listening today. And if you liked what you heard, we'd love for you to head on over to iTunes and give us a little rating and review and tell us what you think. All right, you guys, take care until next time.